Hey YouTube, it's Pokemon Ross here today, and I have a Wi-Fi battle here for you guys with my friend, the1stwhiteninja.
What's up, guys?
Link to his channel in the annotation above.
If you're watching this on my channel, I also have a link to the Pokemon roster right down below.
So yeah, we have a single battle here for you guys today, and I see a couple of threats on his team, mainly his Gliscor because I can't really take a lot of his attacks pretty well, and also his Abomasnow because it's part of the weather war in both of our teams.
And so I see Sandstorm, but the biggest threat I see on his team is the Nidoking and the Reuniclus. The Reuniclus basically takes a shit on my team because it's just, I know for a fact it's fully defensive and it can just take hits for days. And his Nidoking will soak up the Toxic Spikes, which I just basically try and set up to stall it out, even though this is a fully offensive Hail team, as you'll see in a sec.
But let's get this battle started. So he leads off with his Infernape, pretty obvious lead off from his end because it's got the fake out U-turn set, so he can basically scout it before he gets right into the battle.
And he sends out his Blastoise to basically hard counter Infernape because it takes fire moves and it's defensive. So I go for fake out first turn, just get damage off.
Take it pretty well for Life Orb fake out, better than a lot of things on my team probably would. But I'm worried. I know the U-turn's coming next, so I go ahead and go for the Aqua Ring, hoping that he won't send in something that completely counters and walls me. But I do. I should have known. He sends in his Abomasnow right after.
Get my weather started, and it can take water type attacks for days. This is just a bulky Subseed Abomasnow.
So yeah, I basically can't touch him, and that Aqua Ring was useless. I should have just switched out, predicting his switch also, but I didn't know exactly what he was going to switch into. I should have known, but
not too bad. I mean, you get a little bit of health back, and you can see what I'm switching into. So I know he's going to switch out. I should have subbed, predicting that, but I decided to just go for a Wood Hammer, try and do as much damage to this Abomasnow, or not an Abomasnow, Blastoise as possible. But he sends in his Choice Scarfer just to take that pretty well, and then fire off a Choice Scarf. I'm assuming Flamethrower, because I know these things carry elemental coverage.
Yeah, he's a pretty decent special attacker, and having a Choice Scarf set means it's an awesome revenge killer. It's not necessarily OU, which a lot of our pokes are in this battle, but it does pretty well. He holds his ground, and he's a good Toxic Spike absorber also.
And he has that Poison Point, which actually comes into play a little bit later.
Even though it's not the worst toxic damage, but it actually does have an effect on this battle.
So I'm assuming Flamethrower or any type of fire type move. Fire Blast does a little bit more than Flamethrower, but it still doesn't do that much to this Gliscor, even with it being fully offensive.
So basically, since I'm choiced into Fire Blast, I pretty much can't touch him, and he's gonna start setting up all over me if I don't switch out now. So he goes for the
SD, just to get a little bit of setup, since I know he's probably not staying in there.
And I send out probably my best physical wall on the whole team, my Hippowdon, and also he sets up the Sandstorm. It doesn't matter too much for his Gliscor considering it's Poison Heal. If it was Sandville, I would be a little bit more worried about it, but I'm not too worried.
But it doesn't affect me, so I mean, I'm just gonna protect, scout what he does, see if he has Ice Fang, which could really hurt.
And it helps him a little bit right here because if he knows that I'm gonna roar him next turn, so basically he goes balls out and goes for pretty
I go for Facade, to try and do as much damage as I can before he roars me out into some random Pokemon. That's about half, which is actually really good.
And that perfect health percentage right there, that actually helps me a little bit later, you guys will see.
So he roars me into Tentacruel. I know he doesn't want to stay in fearing the Hydro Pump, even though I actually carry Surf for the better accuracy. And I don't need a burn because it's Toxic Spikes, so I decided to set up my first layer of Toxic Spikes.
So I can't, yeah, like you said, I can't take a Surf from the Tentacruel. And this is where it gets a little bit stally. He starts setting up Toxic Spikes all over me, but I'm not too worried.
I just don't care about this Tentacruel in this game. I let it take a Psyshock, which is really, really stupid.
He fought the crap out of that thing, but we're still in a stall where even when he sends out his Cough Egregious,
it just walls the crap out of him, and he sets up his dual screens while I basically got my Toxic Spikes out of there. He immediately gets it out by sending in his Choice Scarfer, which absorbs those since it's a poison ground type.
Kind of depressing for him, but it's not too bad because if he can kill off Nidoking, he can send Tentacruel in later and fodder him like he did the first time. Set up Toxic Spikes again.
I know this thing can't touch me, so I'm just going to leave it in, maybe go for another Hex,
and I was
gauge more of the damage.
And I was predicting that switch, so I went for the Ice Beam. I was predicting Gliscor to come in, so kind of a bad prediction. I should have known that he would stay in because he can take my hits all day. He lives with 3 health right here. I was pretty steaming mad, but goes for the rest.
Resto Chesto, so I'm basically at full health. Nothing really wrong with that. I mean, looking at the damage, I was pretty sure I could take it though. I mean, he did. It seems like he got a higher damage roll. I mean, it was possible that he got an even higher one, took me out, but I mean, I was pretty sure I could live that hit.
So I really want to save this guy, or save Nidoking for later, so I can absorb more Toxic Spikes, which I know he's going to try to put up again, because he'll try to fodder Tentacruel out.
So I'm predicting the switch out, go for Willow on anything, and I miss it. That happens a lot in this game, you'll see, and it actually plays a huge part, me missing all these Willows.
Yeah, there's potential that he could have won this battle if the Will-O-Wisp.
Oh, well, now you just spoiled the ending.
Well, they'll see it anyways. But
so I'm wondering why I outsped him and that he didn't go for a crunch and take me out. Well, maybe. Well, it wouldn't take me out, do a lot. So I get the Will-O-Wisp off and he Dragon Tails me out, maybe predicting my switch. And this is another stally bit with me Leech Seed, Hail, and Burn stalling him, and him Sub stalling, Poison stalling, and Drain Punch stalling me. And so we're just basically going about even right now. I have a slightly better end of it since he's getting a little bit of health back from Drain Punch.
Yeah, so I'm sitting all right here. We're about even right there, but then I keep getting my burn damage racking up. And
his Light Screamer is off, so I'm like, okay, I can take him out with a Blizzard now. And I actually do, which is good for me because I still have around 100 HP and my Weather Inducer's still alive.
Yeah, I was not too happy about that. I really wanted to make Rasta shine in this battle, but he didn't end up getting to have a sweep. But he was born to die on that one. He came in with a Will-O-Wisp and all kinds of bad stuff against him.
And I'm predicting him to over-predict my switch into Gliscor, so I stay in on the Ice Beam, take him out with a Blizzard, which is hecka good for me, because his Choice Scarfer is gone, his Toxic Absorber is gone.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been so stupid on that one. I should have just gone for the obvious Fire Blast, even if he decided to predict me. And now I can't absorb any more of those Toxic Spikes he's gonna set up. So I'm sitting all right, but I have Magnezone and he's not affected by the Toxic Spikes anyway. So I send him in. I got my Air Balloon up, and right there I
know he outspeeds me. I know he can take me out with any move he wants. So I decided to go and Infernape because any of my physical attacks can really scare him out.
Right now, this is a really good prediction I think on my part. I go for the Volt Switch, and I get on out of there, and I do a pretty good chunk to his Infernape. So I get the hell on out of there, because Infernape's really the biggest threat I have on his team for my Magnezone.
And looking at it, I can live 2 Sandstorms and 1 Fake Out. Fake Out with Life Orb Recoil. So I'm just gonna Fake Out, Close Combat this thing, basically fodder this Infernape out. It's kind of useless with the Sandstorm. And so basically, I just try and do as much damage as I can before I go.
So I know the Fake Out's coming. I should have just done something, but like I said earlier, that half health just put me right into Citrus Berry range, and it got me back up. That pretty much helped me right here, because if it hadn't,
lives this close combat.
If I hadn't had that Citrus Berry, I actually definitely would have died right there.
So in the battle right here, after I die from Life Orb Recoil, I turn to him and I'm like, if you slacked off, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
But I was being all arrogant, and I went for the Roar, but I thought that maybe he would switch in before the Roar came, and then he wouldn't necessarily have that switch advantage anymore, and I was really pissed off about that. But that was stupid on my part, so I kind of deserved that.
So I decided to do a Surf on anything that comes in, not gonna overpredict and go for Toxic Spikes, because I know I'm within range and EQ can easily take me out. And I actually take out his Weather Inducer, so I win the Weather War in the long run. And like he brings in his Reuniclus, I'm basically foddering this thing out, like I said before. I should have preserved it much better, it would have helped a lot.
And it's easy for him to do this now because I don't have anything that can absorb or Rapid Spin the Toxic Spikes away. So he goes ahead and sets up. I go for the Recover here. It's a stupid misclick, but in the end, it might have ended up helping me out because having that little bit of health sometimes helps on a wall like that. Because, you know, it gets right down to the wire on some of the attacks. But he keeps on setting up spikes. And right here, I go for the Reflect. I should have just taken him out right there, but I think the Reflect ends up helping.
It does help you out a lot, because, as you'll see in a little bit, one of his pokes actually lives quite well. Yeah. And so, I get up both layers of Toxic Spikes, which doesn't matter as much, that's why the Recover didn't actually kind of benefited him. And setting up that Light Screen makes this Blizzard do pathetic damage. I was hoping for the 10% freeze, but he takes me out.
Yeah, it was a better move to go for the Blizzard, like you said, just because of the 10% freeze. The Surf might have done a little bit more just because of the stab, and it was a pretty high damage move, but I go ahead and take him out now.
So I decided to get my Weather up. I don't need a Bomb Snow anymore. There's nothing that it really threatens on his team. So just get the Snow up and just start firing off wood hammers because his defense is a lot lower than his special defense. Still does shit, but
That that's a good example of where the reflect actually helped me. Might not have taken that as well without the reflect, but
takes me out with the side shock, and I'm going to send in my Gliscor to basically third him out since he can't do anything to me, and I can just basically stall him out.
you can set up all over me with that Gliscor. Psyshock absolutely cannot touch him.
So I predict his switch, go for the SD so I can do more damage to whatever comes in because I know it will cancel out his reflect.
Good prediction. But since I have that reflect up and Blastoise is a pretty bulky Pokemon, I'm not too worried about what he can hit me with right now. I know if Facade's coming, just because it's probably the best thing he can hit me with right there for neutral damage.
I know his Ice Beam can't take me out because even with my limited experience, I'm pretty sure Gliscor can live pretty decent special attacks. I mean, Blastoise is really not that powerful.
Yeah, he's more of a physical and special ball than anything else. So I go for the Ice Beam. I was pretty sure I could take him out, but like Brennan said, not too great special attack on Blastoise's part, so it doesn't take him out. We're about even right now.
But the difference is, I benefit from the Toxic, where he's just totally against having a Toxic on. So I can just protect and then kill him right off.
I should have definitely predicted the protect right here and probably switched out just so I could fodder Blastoise on a super effective attack later. But like he says, goes for the protect just so you can get the obvious kill. Go for the Ice Beam really stupidly, but I'm not too worried. Blastoise wasn't a huge offensive threat. He was mainly just to block a lot of his physical threats. So Blastoise goes down. He didn't get to shine as much as he probably should have in this battle. But I go ahead and send in my Magnezone. I still have my air balloon up, so I'm really happy about that. He's gonna try to break it right here.
Which I should have switched into something else to break it because this Gliscor carries EQ. It's 4 times super effective. It would have easily taken this thing out even at full health.
Exactly.
Could have switched into Crepagrigus, breaking it with a Hex. Foddered that out and then easily just taken him out. But I decided to leave it in stupidly just to do what little damage I can, which is nothing. And then I send in my Glaceon, hoping since Snowcloak's active, Zach and I both play with no accuracy clause, so this one carries Bright Powder, hoping for the miss. So I go for the Blizzard. It does a decent amount of damage, and I know I can live 1. So I'm hoping that I can maybe get a 3-hit KO going.
That's pretty decent damage for a resistant Blizzard from my Magnezone. It's not too specially defensive, but
we calc it, goes to 90% max, but he gets a crit and takes out my Glaceon.
And it's definitely mattered because he probably could have given me a little bit more damage on the another Blizzard, which would have helped when he sends in his Crepagrigus right here.
Yeah, I could have just easily stalled him out, rested, and then taken out his Runic. We're kind of spoiling it, but I just basically lose here. So he goes for a discharge to do what little damage he can. I go for a Willow, hoping it'll help stall him out, and I miss another one! So hacks are just in his favor right now.
Yeah, the Will-O-Wisp, that accuracy really screwed him over on this one, and he gets the short end of the stick on it. But I go for another discharge. I was pretty worried about the rest, and he goes for it. But since he already used his Chesto Berry, I'm okay with it because I can probably just take him out with 3 more discharges because it's about a 3-hit kill.
It's almost guaranteed that he will, and I'm basically just hoping for maybe a miss. I don't even know what discharge's accuracy is. Probably 100, so there's no chance that he misses. It's basically good game now.
If he had hit that Will-O-Wisp, it would have definitely taken me out. He would have stalled me really easily.
Yeah, there was a lot of turning points that could have helped this match, but we're both pretty new to the metagame, so that's basically it.
So that's a good game, and we hope you guys enjoyed the battle. Like I said, link to First White Ninja's channel in the annotation, but if you're watching it from his perspective, link to mine in the annotation also.
Like, comment, sub, and see you guys for maybe some more battles. We'll be doing this quite often.